The Buck of Cabrach is a 721 metre tall hill. It's very prominent. It rises head and shoulders above all the other hills in the location. It's normally a walk that is done out and back, and it takes about an hour and a half to do. But this time I followed a circuit which takes the journey distance to about 6 miles. And it takes about 3 hours to do. The location of the walk is to the west of Rhynie, close to Tapanoff, which I did very recently, and Rhynie is close to Huntly, and in relation to Aberdeen, it's about 40 miles to the west of Aberdeen. So we'll go onto the track and we'll see how conditions are. So here I am at the start of the walk up to the Buck of Cabrach. So it's a direct route from the lay-by where I've left my car, and we'll see how the walking goes. So first things first, we cross over this fence. And then it's rough crossing up to this heather, and it soon levels out. Alright, so about 5 minutes after leaving the car, the ground levels out. We've got a view back towards Tapanoff, and then we get hold of this footpath here. It's not much of a footpath, and it doesn't last a great deal. Without the footpath, we've got moderately deep heather, which isn't particularly encouraging to walk through. The Buck is not a big walk in its own right. It's very direct, but there is no infrastructure at all, either for parking your car or for walking up there. The footpath is well defined on the steep rise up to the summit. But on the approach to that steep rise, we've got this footpath here, but beforehand there was just this heather to walk through, and soon the footpath will get wet, so it will get a bit boggy underfoot. So eventually you come across this fence, and this fence will guide you up to the summit of the Buck, but conditions underfoot are very wet, so there's a lot of boggy sections, and there's a lot of thinking involved, and it all adds to a hilltop that's not particularly friendly to walkers in physical terms. So once the slope starts rising up, this becomes less of a problem. So we've risen above the boggy section now. This is looking back to Tapanoff and looking forwards to the way up the summit. It's a drier footpath. It's still peaty, but it's not splashy. So we just follow the fence posts, keep them to the right, and make our way up. So finally I can see the summit. It's a much better path higher up, and at the summit, as you can see, there's rocky outcrops, so we'll get a closer look further along. Nearly at the summit. It's a windy day today, but we're in for a treat. The views should be magnificent up here. Reckon it's probably gale force winds on the summit here. We'll be in the full force of it very, very soon.
So, trig point time. Let's just protect my mic. Okay. Here we go. Let's look in. So we've got Ben Arn, Ben McDewey, Cairngorm. We've got Corrie Abbey Hill here. Ben Rinnes. We've got Clashin Darroch Wind Farm. Knockhill just to the right. We've got Tappanoff. Benahee. So we've got Mount Keen, we've got Morven, we've got Lochnagar, and we've got the snowy Cairngorms. So let's get off this hill. Finally on the summit. So it takes about an hour to get to the top. It's not too far. Normally I go back the same way that I started from, but this time we're going to take a different way back. This is suggested on the View Ranger app, which I use. We're going to be taking this ridge line going down, and then it should intersect with a track and then get us back to the road. So that's where we will continue. So initially this ridge isn't too bad, but I can see peat hags further along. So we'll just see how things go. It's quite a nice scenic route. We've got we've got a footpath here. Looks like a decent footpath here. So we'll just follow that. So I'm at the saddle point, or close to it, with the intersection on the ridge where we turn left. And as you can see, I've quickly run into peat hags. This is quite a common feature of this part of the world. So it's just a question of navigating through all of this until we get onto slightly more open ground, or slightly easier ground, should I say. So I came across this electric fence. So crossing electric fences, generally speaking, can be a bit painful. So I'm just walking down the electric fence until we follow a gate. And here we have a gate. It's not at all anywhere near the ridge. It's a bit down from here, so you've got the Buck of Cabrach right there, so you kind of have to take a shortcut to get around to this gate here. So we'll just cross through this gate and then onwards along the ridge. So we've come a little bit of a distance from that electric fence, and there's been a couple more peat hags, and we're almost on the ridge but not quite. But the interesting thing to note is that we've intercepted a track. So I'm going to follow this, see where it goes. It's going in, generally speaking, the right direction. Not entirely on the ridge, but certainly good conditions underfoot now. Here we're going to be skirting around the back of this little lump here, which is at 537 meters tall, and then we continue following the track round back to the road. So it's quite a nice, easy track to follow now. I think in future I'll probably make a habit of going this way instead. So I'm still heading eastwards along this track, and taking a closer look at the map, when we turn left we have to go back up the hill again. So this is the hillside we're going. The view down Donside is really quite nice. I like this a lot. So we'll be turning left, I think probably where those trees are in the foreground. So now we're up amongst the trees here, and we have a junction. So we will take this left junction, and then it will swing round further to the left a little very soon on, and then we'll be on our way back to the car. So this is where I've come from. We're back on the ridge, tapping off over there, and now we've got Ben Rinnes coming along up here, revealing itself, and there'll be just more of a gradual reveal as we swing round this corner. Right, well, the wind's definitely picking up, that's for sure. It was quite light winds when I started the walk, but if we look to the left, you can see where we've come from. We went round the back of this ridge, and now we're heading back down to the road, and I can see the way ahead. It's quite a distance. Underneath that small little lump, we've got the place where I left my car, so some distance to go now. So we're back at the road. So as you can see, if you want to access this track, these two cars give an illustration of the off-road parking that's available. There isn't very much, but it is sufficient. So, back to my car. Right, well, back to my car. Not too much walking along the road, only 10 minutes or so. Well, thank you for accompanying me on my walk, and thank you for watching. Time for some lunch.